Hey friends, so in the earlier video I talked about the limiting beliefs that might hold you back from going and talking to a totally random stranger, and in this particular follow-up video I'm going to talk about how you can make the entire approach less creepy. So first of all I'm going to talk about the mindset that I would want you to carry when you go and try to speak to someone new, and that mindset is try to enjoy the freaking process. I know early on you might be thinking about too much. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and you would be too self-conscious about how you are looking, what you're saying, blah blah blah. But eventually, I would want you to develop this mindset of enjoying the process, and trust me, this only comes with practice. Put your reps in, and there will come a time when you would actually start enjoying the process, and during that time of talking to the other person, you would be less self-conscious and actually enjoying the process. My first step is to talk to people of your same sex. That way you would find it less strange, less creepy, and it makes for good practice. It's the same thing like you talking to people of your same sex. Ah, I'm using the word sex a bit too often. I'm finding this a pretty cringe. Anyway, so my first step is to talk to people of the same sex. That way you would find it less strange and less creepy, and you get your reps in. It makes for wonderful practice, and there is practically no difference in talking to people of the opposite sex or the same, right? So talk to people. It doesn't matter who they are. My second tip is about this thing called as mere exposure effect. It is true that people find it very strange when a stranger comes and say hello to us. So the what we want to do is make ourselves less of a stranger to that other person. And how are we going to do this is through by making use of this mere exposure effect thing, whatever it is. And it is the idea that people whom we have seen before, they are kind of less likely of a stranger to us. For example, if you and I, we haven't talked with each other, but you and I like see each other every once in a while, maybe we share a common space or like whatever it could be, we kind of like our brains have registered each other, like we both know that we exist in this on this planet, and that way we're not really a stranger. So we would want to capitalize on this thing, and the way we do it is, if there is a person who shares the same space as you, and you both come across each other every once in a while, I want you to make sure that that other person has first seen you with their own eyes before you go say hello to them. Like, what I do not want you to do is walk up to them and say hello to them before they have like seen you. So I want you to make sure that they have seen you at least a couple of times. And the way you are going to do that, if you both share same spaces, it is likely that you are both going to see each other like at least every now and then. And even if you like don't see each other, if they're the type of person who like look straight ahead, mind their own business, do not wander their eyes all about, you can make sure that they have noticed you by trying to look at them. You know how it happens, if another person looks at us briefly, it tends to gauge our attention, and we tend to like look at them at least briefly. So try looking at them briefly. I'm not asking you to stare at them, but if you look at them briefly, it is likely to get their attention and get them to notice you, and this way you are less likely of a stranger. And now that they have registered you as a human being who exists on this planet, you are kind of less of a stranger. And now when you go and say hello to them, um, the other person would feel relatively safe, as opposed to if you were to go say hello to them as a complete stranger. So this is the mere exposure effect. You would want to make sure that the other person has seen you a couple of times um, before you go say hello to them. Okay, you might be wondering, what about a person who you do not share a common space with, and it is unlikely that you are like they haven't met you before. Like, consider you seeing a person in a grocery store or in a event or maybe a film show or any kind of thing like where they haven't met you before and you don't share similar spaces. In that case you can still make use of this uh, by being around their vicinity such that they are more likely to see you and notice you that you exist before you walk up to them. So you can still make use of this thing. And this is also related to the idea that you do not want to walk up to a person and say hello out of blue. Like if they haven't seen you before and you walk up to a person and try to talk to them, you might spook them off, you might make them feel scared because it's like you're trying to sneak up on them. But when they have seen you before, then you are not so much of a stranger now, and it would feel less creepy to them if you were to now go talk to them, and they would feel safe. Like they would know that okay, there's this other human being who exists, and now that they have seen you before, and now that you're going to talk to them, they would just feel safer. Also, never ever walk up to someone from their back. Like always try to come from the front, like from where they can see you that you are coming in their direction. That way you are less likely to spook them. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is probably the most important thing, and that is about having a cheerful affect. What does affect mean? It's simple. It's like when you go speak to someone, be cheerful, because there is this thing called as mirroring, and according to mirroring, we humans subconsciously react to people in the same vibe. For example, if I were to go if I were to go let's say there's this person, we both have seen each other a couple of times although we have never talked, and now I walk up to them with a really cheerful spirit, with a smile. I say, hey, hi, just wanted to say hello to you. I don't think I've met you before. My name's Abhishek. And when you act cheerful, your energy is kind of contagious and it makes them smile even if they didn't want to. And when they would smile, they would feel a little good. They would be a bit more receptive to you talking to them, and it really works. And it is one of the most easiest thing that you could do. It doesn't require brilliance. Just go act cheerful, say hello to them with a smile, talk with a smile, be cheerful. uh, it's awesome, it's amazing. You would be surprised how, like, it makes the other person so much more receptive to you talking to them. Moving on, a lot of people wonder, like, hey, what in the world am I going to say to a complete stranger? And let me tell you, it does not matter what your first words are. Really, it does not matter. You could literally say anything in the world so long it is not a complaint. Like, no one likes a complainer. Oh, you walk up to someone and says, hey, that's a terrible weather. That's such a long line and blah, blah, blah. Try not to complain. Like, no one likes people who complain. As far as what you can say, you could literally say anything as long as your affect is cheerful. So a simple thing that you could say is, hey, just wanted to say hello to you because I'm seeing you for the first time. My name's Abhishek, and I was here waiting on my I was waiting to get my coffee, or I was on my way to the printer room. I wanted to take out a couple of prints. Also, if you have seen them at this particular place a couple of times before, you could simply say, I wanted to say hello to you because I see you here so often. My name's Abhishek. And then you could say something like, say what you were up to at that particular place. Simply talk about what you were doing at that place. And like if it's a workplace, maybe you could say, I was on my way to the printer room to get some papers out, or I was on my way to get like there was this one time, it was my med school campus, and I was on my way to get a uh, uh, what do they say, like I wanted to get an appointment to get myself seen in the ENT outpatient, and I was on my way to get that particular appointment. So I simply said to like this particular other person that, hey, I was on my way to get myself an appointment and saw you across the space across the reception, and just wanted to say hello to you. And they would probably say something like hi, and then always give your first name first, like always give your name first to the person before asking their name. That way you come across as less intrusive and more trustworthy. Because if you were to say, hey, if you were to say after this, what's your name, it can be a little intrusive. But when you give your own name first, you transform from a total stranger to a proper noun. Like, hey, I was here for my ENT appointment, saw you across the reception, just wanted to say hello. My name's Abhishek, what's yours? So now I'm no longer a stranger, I am Abhishek, and another human being is more likely to trust someone called Abhishek rather than someone with no name. So always give your name first. To build some more trust, you could also mention the kind of work that you do there. That way, the other person is more likely to trust you and feel, a bit safe. Like, when I was in med school, I would say I would mention my class, the year that I am in, and that kind of makes the other person feel a bit safe, and it it gives them something to work with. Okay, this person isn't. It also makes me less of a stranger, because that kind of you know it basically makes the other person feel safe. Another thing that I want to touch upon is when you meet someone for the first time, asking too many questions to the other person can come across as intrusive. Like, imagine asking someone, oh, what's your name, where are you going, what are you up to? So these kind of questions might come across as a little intrusive, but again, remember, affect matters so much more here. what what you say matters like 10%, and how you say it and how you frame it matters 90%. So you could say anything as long as your effect is appropriate, which is usually a cheerful effect. So basically, if you do not you shouldn't be asking too many questions. So instead, what you can do is you can ask relatively benign questions, like, um, are you on your way to get yourself an appointment at the outpatient clinic too? Maybe that's why they are at that particular place. Or so notice how this question simply required a yes or no. It wasn't a very personal question, and this would come across as less intrusive. And once the other person starts answering yes, no, this, these simple questions, it warms them up to talking a bit more about themselves. You could also say some, instead of asking a question which might come across as intrusive, you could make a statement like, hey, let me guess, you were on your way to get yourself an appointment too. Or maybe this might come across as a little insincere, so you could say something like, let me guess, you work as a resident here, or resident as in resident physician in my previous example. Or if it's maybe if it's a concert that you both are in, you could say, hey, let me guess, you are a fan of this. You could literally say anything. Basically, when this this comes across as a statement and not a question for them, so this is basically a less intrusive way to talk to someone. And once they start, they would probably say, no, your guess was wrong. And at least this, now that they would have started talking, now you could ask a bit more, one or two more benign questions. And the entire underlying idea is to be less intrusive and make the other person feel safe. If this is a person that you know that you are going to see next time as well, it's better that you keep your first interaction very brief. Something as simple as, hey, I see you here often, so just wanted to say hello to you. My name's Abhishek. I work in the this department or whatever, or I come here for working out every 5 or so days, and it was nice meeting you. See you around. Ask after their name, and that's it. Your first interaction need not be long. You know that you're going to see next time as well, and when you do, greet them morning, evening, whatever time it is, in a cheerful manner. And then in your subsequent encounters you can talk a bit more, but you can keep your first interaction pretty brief. And if you know that you are unlikely to see them next time, but they seem like a person whom you would want to stay in touch with, then you could simply you could try to talk a little bit more, and you can end with something like, hey, I'm really enjoying talking to you, and would love to stay in touch with you. How about we exchange numbers? Some things, some tips on what you can talk about in such a situation where you are unlikely to see them again. Talk about talk about context, like the place you both are in. So that is a connection that you both share. There's a reason why that person might be at that place. Try to take a random bizarre guess. You would probably be wrong, but again, the entire idea is to get them start talking. And you could talk about environment, context. If you are new to the city, like if you're not from the city, you could say something like, hey, I'm new to the city. Any recommendations for getting good food around here, or any opportunities for playing pickleball around the place, something like that. If it's a Monday or a Tuesday, you could probably ask after how did their weekend go. This probably won't be your first question, like after you have made a couple of guessing statements and some benign questions, then you could like say ask something like this. Also, feel free to approach group of people. uh, don't wait for the opportunity. Oh, I'll go talk to that person when they would be by themselves. Trust me, you would be better off talking to them in a group, because that way your person of interest would feel safe, because they are in a, like they are many and you are by yourself, so it is unlikely that they would feel um, not so safe. So totally feel comfortable in approaching group of people. You could say something like, hey, I was by myself here, was getting bored, you all seem pretty interesting, and like you all seem like to be having fun, so just wanted to say come hello, like just wanted to come and say hello to you. My name's Abhishek and blah blah blah. And let's say maybe you were with your friends, you could say something like, oh, I was here with my friends and saw you group of friends and thought I might come and say hello to you all. And that's pretty much it. And after that, like try to be present. Don't like don't fixate on saying one thing or the other. um, don't think about this in terms of what to say, what not to say. Just try to be interested in the other person, and rather than trying to come across as interesting yourself, be a little less self-conscious. Try to enjoy the process. Share some things about yourself. And again, I know all this thing sounds a little um like it would come with practice. You've got to put your reps in. Another thing that you could do while talking to a complete stranger is practice a simple magic trick or so. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a simple coin trick. You could look them up on YouTube and walk up to the person and like after introducing yourself, like, hey, I saw you across the place, my name's Abhishek, wanted to say hello to you, and I've been learning this magic trick and wanted to practice it to get better at it. So would love to have you as an audience, and then you can show them that particular trick. And it might not be anything fancy, but it breaks the ice, and then you can talk about anything else. When you're first starting out, you would notice that you would rush in to fill the conversation gaps. um, Eventually I would want you to try not to do that. Like if there's a silence in the conversation, do not mind the silence. Like that silence seems to be long for us, but it's not really all that long. Like don't try to just rush in to fill the silence. Do not mind the silence. I would also want to talk about how to deal with the disappointment if your conversation goes haywire. um, that's basically if it goes south. And the way you deal with it is realize that not everything in the world has got something to do with you. Let's say the other person comes across as rude, not interested, whatever. Try not to take it personally. Everyone has a busy life and they might have a lot of things going on with themselves. Like they could be running late for something, they might be looking forward to something, they might be on they might be on an agenda, like basically they have things going on in their life, and you might be interrupting them at a wrong time. So in that case, if they come across as rude, don't take it personally. It's not about you. So get rid of the egocentrism, which is about everything in the universe has got something to do with me. Oh, that my friend did not wave back to me. That means that he might be angry with me. No, maybe he didn't had a proper bowel movement that day, or it could be n number of reasons which might have got nothing to do with you in particular. So don't take things personally, like it might be related to something completely else. So try to dial down your sense of self-importance and don't take things personally, and enjoy the process, have fun, don't die.